Welcome back to Ozarks Live. We're talking Survivor again. And of course, the big question last week was, would Erika smash the hourglass and turn back time or not? And
Yes.
she
does. She
smashed
smashes
it.
the glass. So the
Yes.
episode opens with her decision. It's really exciting. Now, we both said last week that we were unsure if she would. I surely didn't think she would.
I didn't
had no
think she
faith in
would
her.
because she's kind of going against the people on her own
Yeah.
tribe that she had been with.
Absolutely.
But she hadn't heard conversations that
Yeah.
took place when she wasn't there. And so honestly, when I saw her do it, I was like, she made the right choice for her game.
Yes, she absolutely made the best choice for her game. Her tribe did not have her back. Honestly, I think she was a lone wolf in this game. So I hope that this helps her in the long run. I think it will help her in the long run. So I'm excited to see what happens with her moving forward specifically.
Yeah, and so this actually affected everything in the episode. And
Yeah.
so, they had had a immunity challenge already, and the team, the teams had kind of merged together and stuff. So the team who thought that they were safe, when she smashed this hourglass, she turned back time and
Yes.
made it where they were no longer safe. So
Yeah.
the people who thought they weren't safe, and her, they were all safe at that point.
Yeah.
So, and then they had a new immunity challenge where only
Yes.
one person could win that.
Yes, but it was really close the entire time.
It
was Evie, Ricard, and Sydney. It was like, oh my gosh, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? And Evie almost had it, and then Sydney almost had it, but then who wins actually?
It was Ricard.
Ricard pulls out the win,
Yeah.
which actually, I don't know. I was indifferent towards him when he was on green, but I thought it was a really smart move for him, specifically because it's just him and Shan. I think that he needed to kind of establish that, okay, he's not to be messed with in a way, And so, they go back to camp now, and chaos just ensues all over the place. I mean, everyone is saying everyone's name. You're like, who's aligned with who? I mean, this game is completely flipped upside down.
I'm lost. I really am.
Yeah.
I mean, chaos was like an understatement, I feel like, at this point, because you thought that certain people had alliances, but then you just started hearing all these different names being thrown out,
Yes.
and I can't keep track of really who's on whose side.
Yeah.
And that even continued when they got to tribal council,
Yes.
too.
Yeah, so tribal, Chaos Ensues Part 2. So the big thing I think that happens when they get there is that you have this interesting Liana versus Xander moment where Liana has this advantage that we spoke about a few weeks ago. She has the ability to take someone's power from them, whether it be an idol or an advantage of any sort. And how it works essentially is, Cami, if you have it, I ask you, you have it, you have to give it to me.
But if I don't, that's the only time you get to ask that, and then you lose that advantage.
Becomes powerless.
Yes.
Exactly. So Liana thinks that she has it all figured out. She's like ready to take over Xander because at this point, Liana has essentially turned against her former Yellow Tribe members, which is also a really interesting development in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Liana goes to ask Xander. She's like, Xander, I have this power, do you have an idol? And he was like, nope, but you can have this fake one.
He had a fake one. And so here's the thing. When you go telling people that you have this advantage, word gets around.
Yep.
It had gotten around to him. And so he knew not to bring the idol, and he gave it to someone. Everyone thought that he'd given it to one person. He had really given it to Tiffany. And so nobody was throwing out the name Tiffany because they just didn't even realize that she would have had that.
Right, and what's crazy is from then, so Evie kind of was the target of that tribal council, which is partly why Xander was trying to save her so much, because now Xander, Tiff, and Evie have all decided to pretty much work together. They are glued tight. It's this 3 strong. And so Evie's name is being thrown out. But then now, after this happens with the advantage, then the rest of the tribe, so the former green and the former blue that are now kind of band together and working together, they're like, who do we vote out? So that's when, once again, chaos is ensued at tribal
in the middle
council.
of tribal. They're all getting up and
all whispering,
and all
they're like
this
talking.
stuff.
And
I was
Jeff's
like,
just
what's going
what?
on? Yeah.
Yes, it is crazy. And so it's interesting because then you see new names thrown out. You hear Deshawn, you hear Nasir, you hear Sydney, and it's like, who the heck is going to go? But then Evie's name is still being thrown out there as well because no one's sure who has the idol now that Xander doesn't. So it is just all over the place.
It
now,
really is.
what ends up happening after this? Who gets voted out?
Sydney. I mean, it was a 3-way tie because you know how they open the votes. It's like 1 vote for you, 1 vote for you, 1 vote for you, and then they go back 2 for you, 2 for you, 2 for you. So it keeps you guessing who's going to be thrown out. And it was actually Sydney who took the shot in the dark because she thought she might go home, and she was not safe.
It did not work. But I will say kudos to Sydney because we haven't seen anyone use the shot in the dark yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting to see that play out.
And she used it at a very appropriate time, I have to say.
Yeah. So where do we think the season goes now?
Okay, so I actually looked online at some predictions, and this prediction was made before Sydney was sent home. And I want to see your thoughts. So they thought number one chance of winning would be Shan.
Okay.
82 to 25 odds. I don't know where those numbers are.
I don't know what that means either.
But I mean, she came out number one, and she's running pretty strong.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Okay, so number two, Liana.
Okay, yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
That was 11 to 2 odds, if that matters to you. Number three, Deshaun, 37 to 10 odds. Now, I thought Deshaun was really strong, but this episode was when they started throwing out his name a lot.
Yes, and so I think he's definitely maybe on the bottom tier of his group, so that'll be interesting.
So it may have changed after this last episode. Danny was number 4, 18 to 1 odds.
Okay.
I still think Danny's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 5, Evie, which really surprised me that she would rate that high because she's gotten herself into a little bit of some drama.
Yeah, but I will say I really like Evie still, and I think all 5 of those are pretty good options. The thing is, everything is just changing so fast in this game, and so I don't know. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. I do think that Shan still has a really good probability of taking the win, but also Liana is emerging as a strong player. However, I think that some things could come back to hurt Liana in the end, and she could be out sooner than we think because she's playing such a hard game and her cards are kind of all out there. So I'm not really sure. This game just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
Okay, I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
So there's a few people who their names never seem to come up to be throwing them off, like Heather and, well, Erica to a certain extent. Nasir, they haven't talked about him the last couple episodes. Xander even. So sometimes the ones who aren't being noticed, I feel like, make it a lot further than you think, just because they're playing a quieter game, especially like Heather. Yeah,
so I've actually said for a while, Heather is super relevant. I mean, half the time I forget she's there. Right. However, there has been a lot of seasons past where it feels like a player like Heather ends up making it to the end because it's someone easy to go up against. You know, if it's me and you and I'm a bad player, but you've been really strong, obviously you're going to take me because then you have a better chance of winning the entire season against me. Yeah. So I don't know, things are getting crazier and crazier. As always, you guys can catch up on Survivor on Paramount Plus or CBS.com. And of course, you can catch new episodes each Wednesday right here on Color 10.
We'll be right back.